Hello and welcome to the Stafford Connect podcast. I'm Tom Cohen. As the end of the school year fast approaches, students are wrapping up not just their classes, but extracurricular activities and sports teams as well. For many students, their participation in extracurricular activities are as important, if not more important to them, as their academic work. This episode features the achievements of two Stafford students, Michael Pershau and Emily Herod. Finn is a basketball player at Colonial Forge High School who recently participated in the state tournament. And Emily is a drama student from Stafford High School who participated in the state level competition as well. Let's kick things off with sports. Welcome to the program, Finn. We're really glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get started with, we usually ask people to tell us what you want the people in Stafford County to know about you.
My name is Michael Pershau. Go by Finn.
Why do we go to by Finn?
Just what I was.
Oh, okay.
My parents were gonna name me Finn Michael, but they got scared, so I've just been called Finn my whole life. Born in Jacksonville, Florida. Moved to Japan when I was 3. Then to Virginia Beach when I was 7. And then I moved up here to Stafford in 7th grade. Been here ever since.
Wow. Okay. Do you remember any of it?
I got memories from everywhere. I've been. Jacksonville, lived in a little neighborhood, had some friends like right across the street. Japan, I can't wait to go back there one day. I mean, it was pretty fun. We lived right on the beach. Well, it wasn't even the beach. It was like a big rock wall with steps. I remember going down there, I mean, every day. It was so close. And then we'd fish off the pier. We'd go to this little like tide pool. It was, I mean, there was never a day where something fun wasn't going on, as far as I remember.
That's neat. That's good to have nice memories. So what we're talking to you about today is all your sports work. I mean, this is seniors are ending their high school careers, but you're also were fortunate enough because of your athletic ability and your team's ability to go to states. So I guess we'll start off with what got you interested in basketball.
I grew up in an athletic family. I've played, I mean, pretty much every sport there is. I started officially like really focusing on basketball when I was about 8 years old. My mom, she was a basketball star in high school. My aunt played D2 at Newberry. And then my uncle, who's probably one of my biggest inspirations, he played D3 at Bridgewater College. So from the time I was 8 years old, I mean, basketball's really just been a part of my life, and I really started to take off with it then. And everything else just kind of happened. Fell in love with it.
Cool. Do you have any particular favorite memory about playing basketball? Besides, we'll get to states eventually, but before states.
I wouldn't say there's a particular memory. It's really just all of the teams I've been a part of. It's just the relationships that I've formed and been given through basketball, whether it be teammates, coaches, trainers, just anybody really. It's been a blessing.
Cool. Awesome. And then, I mean, because the sport's a team sport, is there certain things that you find that are either with the coach or with the teammates that make it gel and work better?
Definitely. There's obviously different personalities that go into every team. I'm not this loud, rambunctious guy on the court, as much as you may think I am in your class. But there's definitely guys that are like that, like Jalen Pierre on the team this year. He was a loud guy, loved to talk. And I think having different personalities on the team makes it easier to gel, because where someone lacks, someone else makes up for it, and vice versa. So I think having a group of guys that are all willing to work together, all have the same goal, but also have differences about them that cover like every area of what you want a team to be. I think that's what really makes a team fit together.
And do you sort of gel outside of, the school and outside the team time, or is it just sort of you come together at practice and games and then you go on your different worlds?
I would say, it depends on the team and it depends on the person. The best teams, 100%, they'll be meeting outside. Like this year on the school team, definitely this was the closest I've been with all of those guys. And same thing on like the successful travel teams I've been on and things like that. The teams where we're hanging out outside of just basketball and our relationships deeper than just on the court. That's when we play the best on the court. Everyone has that chemistry. Everyone's connected. So it definitely ups the ante a little bit when everyone gets along outside of just basketball.
Is there, before we get to the travel team things, which is sort of an interesting world, um, is it? I always wonder in sports because I normally did loner sports, but wrestling type things. But how I know the coaches always come up with these plays. Do you all actually do them, or do you just sort of look at the time and see, okay, this is going to work because of what's happening at that second?
It's another one that depends on the team. You have some teams that are like super high IQ. They understand the game differently than just an athletic team would. But with our team specifically, we put in, I don't even know how many, a lot of plays, a lot of sets that we could run, different defenses, different offenses for different times. And there would be times on the floor where players would recognize, like, oh, this is working great, let's run this. And there'd be times when the coach, we'd come down the floor and he would start yelling out a play, and we'd all mimic it on the court and then run it, and a lot of times had success. So it really depends on the style of the team, the IQ of the team, as well as the style of the coaches. But this year for Colonial Forge, we definitely ran a lot of plays.
I was asking one of the football guys that I teach and asking how much they sort of like they have to follow the certain play that's the coach wants them to, and he said some years it's like you have to, thou shall do it, and other years it's more what you were saying. It's sort of like the feel of the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely leeway in the plays where this option might not be there one time down the floor, and then you try to run the same play the next time, and all of a sudden it's wide open. So you kind of detour from it and go with the right read that's there. But yeah, I'd say that at pretty much all of basketball, it's just go with the flow, figure it out. There's not really a set thing you can follow that'll work for everybody or will work for every team or every opponent.
Right.
It's really just get out there, figure it out. You prepare as best you can. Yeah. We had an assistant coach this year, Coach Terry, and that man put so many hours into studying whoever we were playing. It was the best scout that I'd had on any team. He would literally sit there every night just watching the team that we were about to play this upcoming game, and he would come to practice with full stacks of paper, reading through what plays they ran, what offenses they ran, what type of defenses they had, their best players, what their strengths were. It was definitely a huge part of our success, just being able to know what to expect from the team so that we were prepared to play and adjust in a way that was already going to benefit us and help us attack that team.
Right. That's interesting. Because you always hear of football teams looking at the films.
Yeah.
But you don't usually hear the other teams, the other sports saying, we sat down on Monday, we're watching the films of that. It's really interesting.
There's a lot of that.
And the travel teams, are it often the same people from school, or is it different schools, or how does that usually work?
It can depend. There's so many travel teams now. Back before I was playing, 2010s, there would be maybe 3 good teams in an area if you were lucky. And then nowadays there's probably 8 good teams with, no less than 30 just filler teams that still play, put you on a travel team, but not in the same league. So it's hard to land with your teammates, depending on where you live and what you want. There was a year, my rising junior year, I played on a team with Jalen, Dakari, a bunch of guys from the Forge team, just trying to stick together so that we could hopefully have a good junior season. And not everybody from the high school team stuck with us, but some did, and we had a good junior season. But beyond just the high school team, you also meet a lot of new people going out. This year and last year I played on an Under Armour team, and then this year I'm playing for an Adidas team. So it's higher level competition, and since there's so many options, not everybody's going to be playing with you. So this year I don't have any of my high school guys with me for AAU.
And where do you travel to?
That it also depends on the team. I've had some summers where I'll be traveling anywhere from Ocean City, Virginia Beach, places around here. And then last year, playing for that Under Armour circuit team, we went as far as Chicago, Georgia, just really all around. It just depends on where the big tournaments are, where the college coaches are going to be, and they'll get you to them.
Okay. And then, what's sort of the process to advance from one level? We'll go back to high school and schools to advance from one level to the next. I mean, you have, and it has been wonderful. I think they fixed it before you got involved in the tens. But I mean, at one point, the district that had Stafford went all the way down. There was Charlottesville, and there's someone's even down towards Blacksburg was in our district, and there was a long haul for teams. I think we've cured that issue a little bit. I don't think you have that many far places to go. But so what's sort of the process to advance from our region and to go to a higher ups and whatever?
So for high school, you'll start obviously with your district, the guys, the teams that are in your school district. So for us, it's Mountain View, North Stafford, Brook Point, all those guys that are within like close proximity. And we won the district championship this year out of all of them. So depending on what class you are, because there's class 6, class A, like all those, and that can determine that out of districts, that determines like where you are regionally, where you are like in a state tournament. So we're class 6. So winning the district this year was very important for us to make it to the regional, the 6B regionals. So after we won districts, we went to regionals, and since we won, we were given a first round bye. So we played Garfield in our first regional game, beat them by 20. Everyone had a great game. And then in the regional semifinals, we played North Stafford. Or not North Stafford, we played Forest Park. And they're a great team. And we were definitely the underdogs there. Everyone was predicting them to win, and we ended up beating them by 20 as well. And then ultimately playing Patriot in the regional championship game, which we lost by 7. So, I mean, it's a close game, great game. And then by making it to the regional semis and losing in the championship, you're automatically granted, or making to the regional championship, you're automatically granted a state playoff berth. So from there, even though we lost in the regional championship, we were able to move on, and we made it to the state quarterfinals before losing to Oscar Smith. So it's all up in the air. You just you win, you move on, you lose, you go home. And then there's other stuff like classes, regions, like all that's mixed in. But the goal is to win. You win, you'll keep playing.
Cool. And are there special pressures as you're going up and up besides, I mean, obviously the level of play is higher.
Definitely.
But are there other pressures?
There's more pressure to win because you're at the higher you go, you're like, all right, this game, this is the biggest game of the season. Let's win this one. You win, the next game's even bigger than that. So it's definitely, I wouldn't even call it pressure. I would say desire. You want to win more than you did last week because you're playing for more. So I would say that definitely does increase as you go on.
Is there anything that you do special to prepare for those types of competitions that is different from the regular season?
For a lot of guys, yes. For me, no. I try to treat every game as if it's the same, whether we're playing Mountain View on Friday night or we're playing South Lakes, the state champs. For me, I try to approach every game as I want to win. I want to play great. It's all the same. That way.
Good hands. Good stop.
I do my best. That way, there's no disparity. Because it's not really something I can turn on and off. I don't think it's something anybody can turn on and off. Where like, okay, I'm going to play great this game. I'm going to do this and play great, or I'm not going to do this, but I'll be fine. I think treating yourself to be the best you can every game, I think that's what makes a lot of guys so good, or keeps a lot of guys from reaching their full potential.
Cool. And then I guess with the state, what I think some people don't follow things faithfully. I know that, for example, we sort of think of state competitions going down to Richmond, everybody's in a big arena, etc. But that's sort of different when there's so many different classes and regions and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but what's the state competition like? Because I envisioned it being down in Richmond, but it wasn't in Richmond, if memory serves me.
It was it gets there.
Eventually, if you raise
yeah.
to a certain level, right?
So, I mean, I'll speak on 6B because that's the class that I know the most about. But for regional games, it's all the same. You know, you'll go home, you'll be home or away playing at a certain school. Once you get to states, the quarterfinals and semifinals are still the same. But if you're in states, you're one of the top 8 teams in that class in the whole state. So for us, it was us, Woodson, not Forest Park, us, Woodson, South Lakes, Oscar Smith, and there's 2 more I'm forgetting. But we were the top 8. And so for semifinals and quarterfinals, it'll be just like all the other games. You'll be home or you'll be away. We were away, so we went down to Oscar Smith to play them. And it's the same for all the other teams. You had the higher seed hosts. And then once you get to the state championship, that's usually held in VCU.
Right.
And they'll all go there for the state championship game, which is pretty cool.
And it's sort of interesting because I guess where I'm thinking is you have a lot of colleges that have larger arenas.
Mhm.
And so my mindset's going, if it's a regional game for your class, and why isn't it Mary Wash or at George Mason's arena where they can hold like whole bunches of students and stuff and family that come in. So I thought that was interesting that if it's at a regular school, there's only so much seating.
Yeah.
Because I know there were buses that took people up to see your games from Forge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just, I guess they just can't get all those arenas because a lot of times you still have colleges playing when we're playing. The high school season usually ends before a college's season will. So it definitely can be hard to get like a Mary Wash because they're still in full swing. Or, I mean, I'm sure if they can get VCU, I'm sure they could get George Mason. I just know traditionally it's been VCU, so I think it's just an agreement they have where the teams will go down to Richmond. I'm sure could have something to do with it being the state capital as well. Yeah, going down there.
So, do you have any particular memories about the either of those games for states this year, or any games in particular?
I mean, I could sit here all day with all the basketball memories.
Well, if you could sit there and that doesn't help us, you have to tell us.
Don't worry. I got you, Mr. Cohen. This year, I think one of my favorite memories was riding down to Oscar Smith. If we're talking about the state playoffs, riding down to Oscar Smith, playing in the game was great. Like the energy, everything was so fun. But being with those guys on the bus ride down, just kind of all relaxing, joking, having a good time, going out to eat at before the game, that's something that I think was really special. I'll definitely hold on to that. And then one of my personal favorite memories from the season as a whole was the district championship and the regional semifinals. We won the district championship, as I mentioned. I had 21 points. It was a great game. And I remember the last play of the game, I just hit 2 free throws to put us up. And there was, I think, 8 seconds left. And so we called a timeout. They were bringing the ball down, and I ended up stealing it from the guy with the ball. And I went down, and I dunked it. And there's a picture out there where it's me in the air dunking the ball, and then you see Jalen Pierre and Jaden Morris on both sides, and they're both in the air with me. And it was just a great like freeze frame. Like it was pretty awesome. But I think the district championship with that specific photo and just the game as a whole, and I mean, really just any win in general. But I'd say the district championship and then the regional semifinals, those are probably some of the most special wins.
Neat. Well, you haven't said what position you normally play.
Oh, I play. I'm a swing guard. I used to be like straight shooter. I've developed my game and body to be able to get out of that and start playing down low, more driving. But yeah, I shoot the 3, handle the ball a little bit, play down low. I kind of do a little bit of everything with shooting as my specialty.
Cool. And then you've talked a lot about the team aspect. Are there any it's it seems as though from eavesdropping and hearing the different talks about that you've had and Jalen and all, um, but that seems as though it's not a meism. That's not like I'm the star, I'm the one that does it. Doesn't seem to be that aspect in the team,
Not at
and I
all.
don't think I heard that last year with some of the ball
Yeah,
players.
it's definitely. I wouldn't. I mean, if it is a problem, you're never really going to hear about it because, at least in Colonial Forge, like basketball culture, we're family. We don't talk bad about each other except for to each other. We've definitely dealt with that in the past, like my sophomore year, junior year, even as well. There's definitely like just putting people, like you put yourself first instead of the team, and I think that was the biggest difference this year. Is all of the guys bought in to our identity. We wanted to be a defensive team. We wanted to win games and make it as far as we could go. Didn't care about how many points this guy had. Didn't care about how many assists you had. It was all just we want to win and we want to do whatever we can to get there. And so I think once we bought into that, that's what made us so successful compared to years past, as well as like maturity, because a lot of our guys are returning. I'm a senior, Jalen, all of these guys who have been playing together since at least sophomore year. A lot of us since freshman year, all 4 years. Us being able to come in as seniors with so much experience and maturity, I think putting us in those leadership positions and us being able to take over, that was another big thing that allowed us to get to where we wanted to go.
Awesome. So looking towards the future, I mean, you're a senior. You've got the last month of school. Not to make you feel bad, but you have about a month left.
On to the next.
And proms, all that stuff. So what are your
Yeah.
plans for the future besides working very hard in all your classes for the next month?
Oh yeah. My plans, I've wanted to play basketball in college since since I was 8 years old. As of right now, I actually just came from a signing day. I verbally committed last Saturday to Fork Union Military Academy for a prep year or a postgraduate year, which let me back up here. I had a lot of college interest from D3, D2, and even some D1 guys all talking to me and trying to get me to come play for them. And I had some really good opportunities, some good scholarships. But I'm a younger guy. My birthday's July, so I've always been that young pack on the basketball court and in school. And I haven't reclassed or done anything like that. So when the opportunity for Fork Union came on, they offered me a lot of money to go there, which that's hard to turn down. So I was really intrigued because it's a post grad, like I said, which is essentially like a JUCO, which for anybody that doesn't know is a college that you go to enhance your basketball ability and to get more looks to go to a higher level. So for me, I'm taking this post grad year because it doesn't take away from my college eligibility, so I can still play all 4 years. Whereas a JUCO, that would count towards my NCAA eligibility. I'm going there to better my game. So coming out of that, I can get better offers than I had at a higher level than I had. So by going there now, if everything goes according to plan from everything that I've heard, I'll be able to go to college for free next year. Still play all 4 years, still get my college education, but I can go for free at a higher level school than what I could have this year. So it's just an opportunity to bet on myself, give myself an extra year to develop since I'm the younger guy. But yeah, it's exciting.
Well, that's really mature and intelligent
Thank
to do that. So, and without naming schools, because I don't want to put it, but you sort of hinted that some schools are lesser than other schools. So, and don't name names because that might come back to bite you in the posterior. But so say for example, really go out on a limb and say that I could actually play basketball, and not on a donkey, and I actually so I'm mediocre. I come up short. So there's certain schools that would be more likely for that type of level person. And then my goal in life is if I play really well in the lower schools, that somebody would come to me and say, "You're actually pretty good, so come up to this higher level school." When I'm a junior or sophomore or junior, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, there's Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and then there's things like there's JUCO and NAIA, which is a bunch of different stuff that you can get into. But recently, there's been a lot of changes with the transfer portal, which has made recruiting and getting recruited out of high school very hard, especially for higher level schools. But say it's very hard to play college basketball in general. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers, but I want to say it's like 1% of all basketball players to play will play at even the D3, which is the lowest level.
Okay.
And then there's levels to JUCO, there's levels to like D1, D2, D3. But you can go to a school. So say I committed to one of the D3 schools talking to me this year. I could go there, have a great freshman season, and then if it was really that good, it was great. I could have Duke texting me in the offseason, and I could enter the transfer portal, and I could go from a D3 school, and I could go be playing at Duke the next year. So it's really about setting yourself up, and JUCO schools, which take the year of eligibility off, and post-grads are the two easiest ways to get those looks from those higher level schools as like transfers, and as well as D3. It's hard to go from D3 and move up to D1. It's not impossible by any means, but a lot of times when players go D3, they kind of lock themselves in as D3 players, opposed to going D2, which is kind of like the mini division, because I think there's like 303 Division 2 schools in all of the U.S., opposed to the thousands of D1s and D3s. So going Division 2, it's a lot easier to get bumped up to like a D1 school if you just play well in front of the right people. But again, if I were to do that, it takes away from another year of eligibility. So I would only get 3 years at that high level play that I'm looking for. So by going to Fork Union and playing that post-grad year, I'm saving my eligibility while also being put in front of some of the top college coaches in the nation, as well as D2 coaches, low-level D1s, and some D3s. If at the end of the day, if a D3 school that I love is talking to me and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come play," and it's a great school, I'll go there. I got nothing against D3. I got nothing against D2. I mean, there's no school that I would say no to because of a division. It's just about me wanting to push myself to be the best I could be. And that's really the reason that I committed to Fork Union, is because it'd be pretty tough to commit to a school right now when I have such a good offer from Fork Union, and being like having that what if I were to go somewhere else. So that was, I'd say, my biggest reason, is betting on myself and getting those higher looks, getting rid of that what if. That was my biggest reason for wanting that post-grad year. I think it'll set me up really nicely to be able to get to those higher levels that I'm hoping to reach.
Cool. And so, what do you want to, and when you go to college, what do you want to get a degree in?
So there's a couple. My dream job would be to either work for an NBA team or to work for the military and special forces as a physical trainer, as well as a psychologist, like a mental performance coach. Mm-hmm. So either working as an NBA like trainer and sports psychologist, or same thing, I'm learning a lot about special forces and how in demand that type of job is, to keep these veterans who are trained, they have the experience, the know-how, and being able to keep them performing at a high level instead of like forcing them into retirement because they can't do what they used to, opposed to training new guys who are being brought up. It's a lot cheaper to keep the old guys who know what they're doing in than it is to train up a whole new batch of special forces. So there's a lot of money to be made in that, so I'm hearing, which is really intriguing to me. But with all that being said, my goal is to major in some sort of exercise science, like a kinesiology, physiology, um, and then go on to get my master's in a mental health counseling, sports psychology, or even human performance. It could be a track I go on for my master's.
Wow, very impressive. Any advice for young pups who are thinking of moving up and doing well in basketball or in life in general?
I mean, it goes for basketball and life. Just work. That's how, I mean, I don't know if you can look at me now, but if you looked at me 5 years ago, I was not a college basketball player by any means. Like, you could have said that kid's not going. No, he's not going. You know, but I worked. Same thing in school. I got great grades, which is a lot of why I got so much interest in college through basketball or from basketball. Is because schools wouldn't be interested in my game, and then they come ask about my grades, and I'd be like, "Here's like GPA," and they're like, "Wow, like that's great. We could give you a lot of money for that here. You should come play for us," like that type of thing. But none of that happens if I don't work. So there are people that were smarter than me. There's people that were stronger, faster, and just better at basketball than me. So rather than, I wouldn't say I didn't compare myself to them, because I think through comparing yourself to others is how you can see where you lack and where you need to get better. But I didn't let that comparison deter me, where I wasn't like, oh, he's so much fat, like I can't compete with that. I got in the gym, I got bigger, stronger, faster, and I got in the gym for basketball, and I became a better basketball player, better shooter, everything. So I really think that's the biggest thing in life in general, not just basketball, not just school. If you work hard, you have a goal, and you're willing to look at others, look at what other people are doing, and take what they're doing to help you reach your goal, you'll be successful in whatever you do. So, I mean, I can't speak for a career. I'm not there yet. But, I mean, I'm going to take that same mindset into wherever I go, wherever I end up in the future. I'm going to work. And I am pretty confident that it will get me to where I need to go. Not saying that there won't be setbacks, there won't be time where my work isn't enough. But having a strong work ethic and having persistence, I think that can get you to where you need to go most of the time.
Awesome. And it seems as though the activities that you did, particularly sports, and those activities, extracurricular things, helped you with sort of developing character traits and abilities that you applied in your schoolwork as well.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, my extracurriculars, but I also think it's the way I was raised. My mom and dad instilled in me from as long as I can remember. Work hard, don't cry about it, be who you are, and get to where you want to go. And I think that's what I've done. I've put my head down and I've worked. Can I go into a tangent here?
Yeah.
All right. So, I would say it was August. I was at an open gym for Forge basketball. We were just practicing, playing with the guys, and I tore my meniscus. What at the time I didn't know. So originally we were like, oh, maybe it's just a sprain, maybe it's just this, and that. And thankfully, the Forge athletic trainer, he got me in with his orthopedic doctor, like the next day. But even then, the results, I would say for a week after, until I got the MRI results back, for a week after I initially got hurt, we were like, it could be an ACL tear, it could be MCL, like there were so many options, and each one would have me missing the season ultimately, unless it was just like a little sprain. But at that point, we kind of knew it wasn't. So eventually I got the MRI results back, and it was a meniscus tear. It was like a complex bucket handle meniscus tear with a displaced fragment. It was the worst possible meniscus tear I could have. And when they looked at it, they were surprised. My ACL was fully healthy, fully intact, which with that kind of tear, they almost never see. So that was good news, obviously, because ACL reconstruction is a whole different animal compared to meniscus stuff. But I still didn't know if I was going to have my senior season because they could have chosen to either do a meniscectomy where they take out your the part that's cut and they left. I think I won't get there yet, but they take out your meniscus, or they can try to do a meniscus repair. And the meniscus repair, you're out for 6 months. The meniscectomy, you're out for 6-ish weeks, a couple months. But I would have my season if I had a meniscectomy. And they didn't know at the time which one they were going to do. So I didn't know if I was going to have a senior season until I woke up from surgery. I don't remember. I think it was September 10th. I woke up from surgery. And it was scary. It was definitely one of the hardest things I've had to face, just because what I'd worked for my whole life, basketball-wise, was on the verge of just being taken from me. And it was I wouldn't say a wake-up call, but a reminder to just put it all out there. Don't take it for granted. This, and that. All the stuff that you're told all the time. Growing up as an adult, you're told, live every moment. Don't take it for granted. Tomorrow's not promised. And I had heard that a million times. And then I got hurt. And that month or so, not knowing if I would have my senior season when I was so close to finally reaching all my goals, it hurt. It hurt a lot. But so I went down for surgery, and they were like, if there's enough oxygen, there's enough blood flow, we're just gonna go with a meniscus repair, and you'll wake up with a brace on your leg, and you won't have your senior season. If there's not enough and it doesn't look like a perfect candidate for a repair, we'll do the meniscectomy. We'll just cut it out, and you'll wake up with a bandage. Then in a couple weeks, couple months, you'll be good to play. So I went down. I don't even know how long the surgery was, but I woke up. First thing I did, ripped off the blankets, and I looked down and I see the bandage. And the relief just washed over me. I mean, it turned out they took, I think, they left 30% of my medial meniscus, something like that. But I mean, I was so grateful, and it changed the whole way that I look at life and at basketball, where I'm doing everything I can to not just work hard, but enjoy what I'm doing. So from that point on, I think that's what also gave me such an incredible season, was that mindset. So it was really, I think, a blessing. And then, I mean, I walked out of the hospital. I not just wheelchair, but I was able to get up and walk. And I walked to the car and got in. And then from that point on, I worked my behind off in PT. I did this, and that. I did everything I was supposed to do. Showed up at every practice, every training, and I was eventually cleared November 20th to come back, and I was able to play in the second scrimmage of the season for Forge basketball. So I got my senior season. But I tell that story, one, because I think there's some good lessons in it, and two, because it happened because of the work I put in. When I was in PT and when I was not cleared to play, still showing up and working to show everybody, hey, I may not be playing, but I'm still here for you guys. I'm still one of you. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to be here whenever I can. I hope that sent a message to them and helped inspire them a little bit. And I know it inspired me as well to keep working harder, push myself harder in physical therapy and all of that. And then ultimately I was able to come back, fully cleared to play. And we did everything that we wanted to do. Got the district championship, made it to the regional championship game, made it to states for the first time since 2019 as a school. So I think it was a storyline kind of season, I would say. But it all comes back to the work that I put in and the work that the team put in, no matter how you look at it.
Well, I remember seeing you go through that. I was very impressed with you. I told you during the time it was impressive. You didn't just roll over and feel sorry for yourself, which was, shows the type of character you have. So I want to thank you, Finn. We'll do a
Chuck some knucks.
Chuck some knucks. And thank you for being on. And wish you very well. Enjoy your last month of senior life.
Enjoy every moment.
And then, I'll pressure you to go up to that, school that's offering you one up in Boston. So
we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Finn. And
of course,
we'll move on to our next guest. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So our next guest on Stafford Connect is Emily Herod. As noted earlier, Emily is a member of the Stafford High School Drama Troupe. Well, good afternoon, Emily. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, and you're quite an accomplished actress, so I thought it'd be great to have you on. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of what you've been doing at Stafford, anything particular you want to tell us about yourself?
Well, I was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. I really love volunteering, actually, and shout out to Old Dominion Humane Society. I love them so much.
They are
and
awesome.
I love helping with dogs.
Yes, we've got one or two of our animals from Old Dominion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
And I have to talk to you. I have a crate that my dog that I adopted does not go in, so I have to see if you getting it donated to them because they are such a good group.
Yeah.
So what got you interested in drama?
Well, I took theater my freshman year, and I did this monologue, and I guess I did it really well. So then my theater teacher told the director, who's like the head of the theater department, that I should be in the competition play. And he asked me, and I said yes, and here I am 4 years later.
Awesome. And it's interesting that, first of all, I don't think most people understand there's a competition, plays and whatnot, and then there's the one that they see big signs for and they go and visit.
Right,
so
right.
Is there a particular difference between the two, and then eventually I'll ask, is there a difference that you prepare for those?
Oh yeah, competition play. It takes much longer time, and the actual play is timed in itself. And then for your musical, your fall play, those are just your general Pippin, Hadestown, stuff like that.
Oh, wow. And then is it that students can write some of the ones for the competitions?
Yes. We don't usually do that, but I've seen other schools. The second place at VTA actually was doing it. Wait, no. Directing.
Okay. And then we were talking with a basketball player about the district. Is there a certain district that you compete against when you're doing the competition ones?
Yes, we're in class 6, but I don't really know what that means. So...
No, that's fair. Because he had a whole bunch of classes and stuff too, district region. So it is sort of funny. So do you have any, besides doing that monologue, is there any favorite memory that you have?
My favorite memory is probably when I get to go to I went to Memphis, Tennessee, and for a competition, and it's really interesting because I get to do the thing that I'm very passionate about, but at the same time I get to hang out with my friends and be in an entirely different place.
Oh, that's cool. And is it the same competition piece in the same group?
Yeah.
And you're going to Memphis as opposed to everything just being within, we were talking with the basketball one. It's sort of the district or the regional is just this, Prince William, Stafford, Spotsy, whatever.
Right.
But you're going, you could be competing as a regional thing in different states.
Yeah, we compete against Texas, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, all that. It's 2 different theater competitions. There's states, and then there's your association and conference.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. And is there a difference between the competition about how you prepare for those type of competitions as you started on this, and then the other type of more fun, fluffy, happy? No, Hadestown is not happy, but happy pieces. But do you all have, you as an actress, do you go into the competition ones with a different mindset?
Oh, completely. Because when we go into the competition, we start in June, and then we run until, hopefully, if we make it that far, March of the next year. So it's a really long time to be with one piece. And so you do a lot of table work about your tactics and your objectives in the thing. And then with each competition, it's completely different set of rules. So there's like the 45-minute one versus like your 35-minute. So you have to like cut down even more and stuff.
Wow. Oh, wow. And is it usually the same, I'll say troop, members of your troop that do it year to year, or?
Usually it depends on the underclassmen and, you know, if the seniors still want to do it.
Right. And this is, you've been doing this all 4 years?
Yeah.
And so, and Stafford has an excellent reputation with this. 5 years you've won states, and 7 years you've won some other
VTA, yeah.
VTA. So that must be awesome, but also a challenge. A great challenge that you feel.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of pressure because the past students will come back and see the show, and then it's like, oh my gosh, they're like so big in our like community that it's a little bit scary sometimes.
Oh wow! Now, and you were talking about how you have the competition one that runs basically almost the entire year, and then you'll do in the fall you do a play or a musical,
Yeah.
and then you'll do another one. So you're almost learning at the same time 2 different roles, assuming you're only having one in one piece, which often you don't. You have multiple,
Right.
And that must be challenging.
Oh yeah, so for this year, our competition play ended in March, but our musical began in March. So having to learn all the music as well as memorizing all your lines to be able to do it is really difficult.
It really must be. I mean, it's hard for me to remember what I'm reading on this thing, let alone. So let's go on follow the competition for a bit. So you pick a piece in probably May to get ready for June, so you get enough copies and stuff. And then people audition. And then what's the process after that?
So you get the cast list, and then you come to rehearsal. He asks us, the director, Mr. Daddario, asks when we are available in the summer and when we have conflicts, and then he'll work around our schedule to be able to have these, I would say, like longer rehearsals to work on the table work and to get the research in for the show. So like this year we did Agnes of God, which is about a girl who's in a convent, and we had to learn about like Catholic and how to be a nun and be in a convent and stuff like that. So it's interesting.
Oh wow! And then when do you start going out to different to do competitions?
Our first competition is in October, and then we have this really long break until January, and then we run it back up, and then we have the VHSL, which is like what all the sports have. And then
Virginia High School League, but for those of go ahead.
And then for the one in October, that's called the the Virginia Theater Association. If we win that, then in March we go to SETC, which is the Southeastern Theater Conference.
Wow. Okay. And then roughly, I'm assuming there's loads of schools that are in that competition.
Oh yeah. For VHSL, it's only 4, and then there's 8, and then there's 4 again because there's 3 rounds of it. And then for VTA, it's like 2 to 3 days worth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's just amazing. And that's because I don't know. So if you're going on these competitions, do you bring scenery and all that as well, or is it?
We have to have our set has to be like portable, so we travel on bus, usually just a school bus, and then we have a U-Haul, and then we'll bring it there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then because you were last night, I believe you were at the school board being recognized and honored for your work.
Yeah, that was really cool. They usually do that like almost every year, which is really cool to have. So they'll like last night, they've never done this before. They said each award that each actor got, and so it was cool. Like, and then they said all the different awards that we have earned through this show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. And when you're saying that, because the different ones, and you don't have to give all the categories, I'm not going to do that to you, and every single one. But so people understand that you get multiple awards, so that your play could be the best in the state. However, in addition,
right, you can get Best Actor, or you can have All-Star Cast, as well as Best Ensemble. And so one actor usually only gets 1 award per competition, but if you get Best Actor, you can also have Best Ensemble Piece. But since it was only a 3-person play this time, there's just like we were really an ensemble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And we were talking ahead of time that the well, we're talking and I just forgot. So because I wrote down something else. So I understand that. Well, for years past, the Riverside Dinner Theater would do an award ceremony. Do they still do that?
Oh, I have no clue.
Okay, they used to do this award thing. I've for all the drama
Oh, really?
in the high schools.
Oh.
And they have I forget the cute name of it that they would give out. I'll have to ask them
That's cool.
about that. So the play that was your competition play this year was
Agnes of God.
which is only a 3-person play.
Yes.
Okay. And do they have any idea what they're going to do next year yet, or is it still too early?
I think it's probably too early. Yeah.
Okay. And then you have Hadestown. That's the other type of play, which is just the students involved in. Are those from classes and or extras, or what? You know, the Hadestown one, is that they like the drama 1 students and drama 2 students?
Oh,
or is
anyone can audition,
Okay.
and then not everyone makes it
Right.
in the nicest way.
So true of life. What's Hadestown about? It's been on Broadway. So
Right. It's a Greek mythology musical about the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. Simultaneously, it's kind of with Hades and Persephone, some of the Greek gods. And Hermes, who I play, is like the narrator of the story. And it's kind of about hope and how even though when nothing seems good, you still can have hope that it will change for the next time.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good theme. And that's obviously those ones have a larger set and larger
Yeah.
costumes and all the stuff that people are used to seeing.
Right.
And I believe you said that's in the first 2 weeks of May.
Yes, our show is the first 2 weekends. We have 6 shows total.
Okay. And this will be airing the beginning of May, so that people who are watching it and listening to this in early May will be able to go and enjoy it, because
Yes,
it is
you
really
should.
remarkable.
It'll be really cool. The set's really cool. We have a 8-foot tall platform,
Oh my
and
word.
then 1 foot, a 2 foot, and a 3 foot. It's really cool.
Wow. And then I know this just because I'm old and around the school system, but there's they have like tech drama classes as well as regular, so those are the people who do build all the sets and stuff.
You're right. Costumes, lights, and sound, and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's really cool.
It is. It's really neat. People trades that then they go out often and go into those trades. So it's a nice thing, particularly at Stafford, because you have a great construction program.
A lot of my friends I know are going on to and becoming like stage managers and scenic designers and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Oh, that is neat. So what are your particular plans for the future?
Well, I'm going to James Madison University, and I'm going to major in psychology and hopefully minor in art history.
Oh, okay. And still going to pursue drama type things, or?
Probably not. I want to be a clinical psychologist, but theater will always have a place in my heart, and I hope I can do some shows in college.
Yep.
We'll see.
Oh, that's neat. And then, they often do have a lot there. And then there's other community groups that do things as well.
Right.
Different things. Did you feel that doing the drama helped you with doing your regular schoolwork or in your academic work?
Oh, yeah. It makes me more focused and determined because I know I don't have enough time after school to do all my homework. So then I will actually do it during class. And so it's really helpful. It's a motivator.
Oh, and time management and all those other things that are life skills that will help you as you're moving on in life. Would you have any advice that you would give younger students that are thinking of getting into the drama?
I would say just really go for it. I've never been a lead in a musical till this year, and it's just purely because I just said screw it and did it. You have to have the confidence and faith in yourself that you can do it, and trust your directors when he chooses you.
Awesome. Yeah, are you getting really excited about graduation? You have a little bit about months away.
Oh, I'm really excited. I think it'll be sad to leave theater because it's been with me for 4 years, but I'm excited for the new chapter of my life.
And do you have a close-knit group of friends that are in the theater and stuff? I already know this because in class there's a number of you. And it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's a really big community. It's like a family almost.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And do you do stuff beyond the drama and the school things? You do get together on weekends for fun?
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff?
all the time. Yeah, we have like little sleepovers or like they'll come to my birthday parties and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's nice. That's sort of the, gives you that community and that
right. Like-
feeling that you belong. And
Right, you found your place in high school, which is so hard.
yes, and that's awesome. Especially when they're so large and there's so many bodies and,
Right,
it's
right.
tough. All right. And then I guess the sort of getting out of moving onward from this, is there anything particular about Stafford that you think is interesting or that, either stories or thoughts about Stafford County or Stafford High School?
Well, I think I've lived here for so long that I know the town like the back of my hand. And I think it's really cool because I know so many people and I have connections with so many different places and so many different memories that it definitely just has a homey kind of feeling,
And that's nice. That sort of gives you a sense of place.
Right,
And that-
right, exactly.
Awesome. Oh, well, thank you, Emily. We appreciate you being on and enlightening us. We encourage everybody to go to see the plays. Obviously the one that's Hadestown, which will be the beginning of May. Then look for the other next fall. There'll be
The fall
big one.
play and the competition play,
Yep.
which is free to go to. The
Yep.
competition play is not the fall, but
And then all that's on the Stafford High website.
yes,
Um,
yes.
Which is really good about finding information
Yeah.
on it. It's really well done. Awesome. And just so your plays are well done. So
Oh.
thank you.
Thank you.
And that looks like that ought to do it for this edition of Stafford Connect. Before we go, I want to thank you for joining us on this episode. We do appreciate you and hope you'll refer us to all your friends. And while we are on the subject of friends, we want to thank our friends at Tilly's Ice Cream for their kind donations to support this program. Tilly's is located at the Ferry Farm Shopping Center at 215 Kings Highway. Next time you're in the area, stop by and treat yourself. You'll be glad you did. On our next episode, we'll be looking at the arts in our area. There's a Stafford opera troupe, and there is an orchestra in our area, and we will have individuals with those activities to tell you what is going on in our area as far as the arts are concerned. Until then, I'm Tom Cohen, and you're listening to the Stafford Connect podcast. Stafford Connect is a River's Edge Media original podcast. You can listen to the show anywhere you get your podcasts or catch us on video on our YouTube channel. Stafford Connect, the conversation begins here.